Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Daily BM, where we come at you live in the studio, but it's recorded, so too fucking bad. I have my co-host Mikey, and of course Erica, who is lately hit or miss. But hey, welcome to the show. We have a special guest in here.
We do.
Fuck that all up.
Sorry, I ran out of tampons, so I had to come over here and borrow one from your wife. I apologize.
It's okay. We understand you're a huge vag, but a bleeding huge vag, but it's all good.
Covered in Vicks Vapor Rub.
Here, I mean, you can just grab the whole roll of toilet paper and shove it up there, man. That's how bad you're bleeding lately. So
it's terrible.
Yeah, I know.
There really is hate going on right now.
I know.
Back and forth.
Oh, you should have seen Brad before we even started. Goddamn, he's taking all the aggression, everything anger wise that's going on right now with inside him. It's all
don't fuck with me, Eric. I wouldn't do that to say.
For some reason,
I think we both had some shitty morning today. I had a shitty morning. I woke up shitty.
Me too.
Shitting or shitty?
Outside of bed. Shitty. I was shitty mood. I woke up in a shitty mood this morning on the wrong side of the bed.
In a hitty shitty.
Then my daughter added fuel to the fire, and then the dog added. No. Then my neighbor's roofers added fuel to the fire, then my dog added fuel to the fire.
Let's listen to some of this fire. What happened, buddy?
I like this.
All right, so last night I stayed up super fucking late because I downloaded a couple weeks ago when the Dead Space remake came out, which that was one of my favorite games like 15 years ago when it came out. Like, it scared the shit out of me when I was a kid, and it makes me jump now. There's a lot of good jump scares in it. So I finally beat the game last night, and when you beat it, it unlocks the plus version. So it's the new game plus where you get to keep all your old shit and start the game all over again. And play it through with there's different things, like different objectives and stuff that you can do. So it's really cool. So I started it over last night after I beat it at about 11 o'clock. I beat it. So then I started it over. So I played for like another 3 hours and finally went to bed. And then this morning I woke up at like 7:30, which is a little late for me. Usually I get up at 6:30. And I was like, oh, fuck. We got to get Aiden to the school bus. And I was like, shit. So I jumped up, ran in his room and was like, oh, it's not our fucking week. He's not here. So I got pissed off about that. So then I go back into my room and sit down on the shitter to take a shit. And
was this around 2 a.m.?
Actually, let me back that up. No. This is at 7:30 this morning. Let me back that up.
I was
at 7 o'clock, I got woke up by the neighbors' roofers starting the nail guns, shooting in nails into their roof, and they have 40 guys up there with each one their own nail gun, and they're shooting rapid succession. So that shit kind of woke me up at 7. So I was groggy and kind of in and out of sleeping, and then flashback forward to I go to take a shit, and the new little cat won't leave me alone. He just keeps jumping on my lap, jumping in my underwear. I close the door, and we have one of those sliding doors in our bathroom, the pocket doors. So he can he puts his little hand in there, reaches it, and he can push it open now. And I was on the shitter, so I couldn't reach the lock. So I could push it shut, but I couldn't lock it. So I was in a struggle between keeping the cat out and trying to take a shit. So that kind of pissed me off. So then my dog won't go outside, Louis, because he's scared to death that there's gang violence happening in the neighborhood or something. I don't know, because he's the whitest white dog ever.
I wonder why.
Keep going.
He's super bougie, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He's a little prick.
I was going to say.
So then I come out, and my daughter lets her dogs out, and they just go fucking nuts. They're barking like crazy. So that's irritating me because I hate dog. I have a lot of dogs, but I don't like them barking. So it's just, I know it's kind of whatever the word is I'm looking for. I don't even know this morning.
It's like an oxymoron on this.
Yeah. So my daughter has a pet bird that she's trying to rehome. Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And she wants to get rid of the pet bird. Just because she doesn't have time to spend with him, and she wants to have him have a better life, better home.
Whoops! The door's open.
Yeah, so,
it really is that simple. They can fly.
I know, Mike. I'm here. Problem solved. But go ahead.
So we have a lady that would like him, can take care of him, but she just doesn't want to buy him. My daughter's trying to get $300 out of the bird, and I'm like, Jesus, if you want to get rid of it, just get rid of it. You know what I mean? Let it go to a good home. Why are you trying to nickel and dime? She's I'll give her the bird, but I'm not gonna give her the cage. I'm like, you got the cage for free. Like I didn't buy it. Like someone donated it to us. Like they were like, hey, you want this big ass cage? We don't need it. We want it gone. So we were like, my daughter's like, yeah, I'll take it. And we upgraded it and sold his old cage. So I'm just like, if you want to get rid of the bird, just get rid of the bird, you know? And then she goes in this whole thing. She's like, just like lecturing me as like, if these people can't afford to buy the bird, then they can't afford to have the bird. And I'm like, oh my God, like I don't need to hear this right now. I'm just trying to make it to the coffee machine to make some fucking coffee. All right. So right after that happens, I smell like this god awful smell. And I'm like, that little motherfucking piece of shit just took a shat.
Are you talking about
in
your
my
daughter?
fucking house. No, the dog. The dog. The dog. No, my daughter has left the room. Now it's on back to the dog.
I was like, damn, man, she's got some serious balls to take shit in the middle of the living room, man. Damn.
She's like, fuck you.
She's like, oh, yeah,
no,
I'll show you a bird, motherfucker.
Louis decided that he's going to take a shit, okay? So that irritated me. Then I had to give myself the TRT shot, and I like had to stick it in my ass, and I got it in my ass, and I stuck it in there. Now my ass is stinging, so that's kind of pissing me off too. All right.
Is it still hurting from how long ago was the shot?
That wasn't from the shot.
No, it's not hurting anymore. It was like 10 minutes, but normally I don't feel it at all. Normally it's just like easy peasy.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. Now this morning it was like, no, motherfucker, we're gonna make it sting and we're gonna make it feel good. So I was like, God damn it, I'm already pissed, you know?
Maybe
and then I'm mad
scar tissue or
missed,
something.
Then I'm mad because normally on holidays the trash does not run and the recycle does not run. But yesterday I fucking look up and here comes the recycle guy just fucking hauling ass down the neighborhood because nobody has their recycle shit out. Nobody, not one single neighbor. Okay. So my recycle bin's full. Like he's like, haha, free day. Just gonna haul ass past. Nobody has it out. So I'm just going. I'm like, you motherfucker. So I went out there this morning and opened it up. And of course it's got more boxes in it. And I'm the only one in the house that like breaks boxes down to make more room. Like they're like,
started on that shit, man.
They're like, let me just put this giant ass box in here, fucking just wide ass open. So it takes up all the fucking space. No consideration, nobody. And then I come back inside.
Tuesday, man.
I fucking did dishes this morning. Like I got the dishes cleaned up out of the sink because people fucking don't know how to use a goddamn dishwasher. So I literally get fucking cleaned out like 3 fucking dishes, and I come back out and there's 2 more fucking dishes that magically fucking appeared in there. Like, let the fucking dish fairy take care of this shit. And I'm like, oh damn you fucking dishes. Oh.
So I have one question.
Yeah. I'm not even done yet. Like that's just the beginning.
Oh wait, there's more. Oh
yeah, that's just the first.
Shall you entertain? Go ahead.
That's just the first hour. Okay, and then
incoming.
So, on my property, I have a shed that I converted. It was a chicken coop, and then I converted it into my office. Okay, and on my office, I have a neon sign that lights up and says "on air."
Yeah, it's cool,
and
too.
Everybody knows that when the on-air sign is on, I'm either on a call or on a video chat or something to do with work or I'm doing the podcast. But I guarantee you, everybody in the house does the exact same fucking thing. They walk over and they look in the fucking window like I'm lying or something and fucking stare at me like, and then they're like, and they're trying to talk through the fucking pane glass. And I'm like, motherfucker, like, stop. Like, what are you doing? Like, just stop.
Yeah, it's like, can you not read? Woo!
Yeah, so like I'm like Ric Flair. Like I literally, that's when I'm like, woo! That's when I like body slam people. You know, the Eric shows up late, and I'm like, motherfucker. Plus, I got to drive to Naples today.
My question is, hold on. Nope, you were 10 minutes late. You fuck. Don't even try,
you motherfucker. And then I'm mad at Brad because he didn't test the equipment beforehand.
Fuck you. How was I supposed to know that? Hey, how the fuck was I supposed to know that the fucking Apple Mac was going to update overnight?
And then delete Google.
And then delete fucking Google Chrome right out of the damn freaking thing. Like, you know, that's Apple at its finest right there. Hey, watch this, Google. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
totally
I catch the shitty end of that stick right away.
Yeah, well, fuck you again.
What's up, Eric?
So, I need to ask you guys something. Are you done being cunts? Can we go?
No, absolutely not. No.
I've been sick for the last 4 days.
I'm gonna see you until next Tuesday.
Damn right.
Oh, God.
I've been sick for the last. I've been sick since Thursday afternoon.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, but yes, no, they don't actually. No, you're right. I'm just gonna go fuck myself in the corner.
I feel like you've been sick a lot longer than that.
I have.
Does that include his mental sickness?
Wait, are you talking about a different sickness? Is this something new?
Oh yeah, no. I actually have a fucking cold, like a normal person cold.
Oh shit. Oh,
I
Jesus.
know, and it kicks my ass
Great.
13
Now you're
times
bringing
harder.
over Brad, and Brad's going to
So
get
he's
it
a
in here, and
pussy.
Brad's going
Yeah,
to spread it to me.
exactly.
Fucker.
Thanks, Dick. I'm already not
just-
feeling good. You probably gave me this shit that I already had
No,
last
Oh,
time.
yeah, because you had a sore throat yesterday.
Oh, did you really? See, I only had
Yes,
that
I
for
still
like a
do.
half
I'm
an
freaking
hour
still
on
hurting. I'm like
Thursday.
struggling to get through this shit, just like everybody else.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
and it's nobody else's fault in the family. But it's just me having just a moment, and I think the TRT is just kicking a little extra today because I'm
So he's
feeling
got
it
a little
just a little
aggression.
bit
It's
more.
starting
a
to.
little bit
It's
up.
probably he's
Roid
losing his
raging.
estrogen. His estrogen
Yeah.
is finally leaving his body. He's turning into a man again. He's turning into a manly man.
He's peeing
Yeah,
all
I'm starting
out.
to look. I'm starting to look at my pets and going, I wonder what you taste like.
I was just about to ask you, hey, can I come over and suck those bad boys or what?
No, I don't have titties. I really
So
don't.
do you
I don't
give
have
out?
really
Do you,
good, I don't have
do you give
good,
out
I
grade
don't
A
have
milk
good titties to
or
suck.
grade D?
I don't have good titties to suck. They're kind of like flat. Like they're not very.
I
like,
bet somebody could
thank
latch onto
God.
those nipples.
Oh, I'm
Show us
sure
your nipples.
anybody could. I'm
Show
sure
us your
anybody
nipples.
could. No, fuck you.
Look at he's got like these fucking. There's a guy, though, dude. Okay, hold on a second. So let me tell.
No, they're
no, I love the story about nipples.
small.
Wait, so your nipples are small.
Look,
You got like a
they're-
small
yeah,
areola,
they're like this, like this.
right?
There.
But you have a small areola. It's not like a pancake. There you
it
are.
is.
Oh
Okay, you're good.
yeah. So he's got a
I mean,
normal
that's
nipple.
nothing exciting about that.
Oh, did you see that?
It's just
It was a
hairy.
normal nipple. I know a
It's
guy,
normal.
and I'm not going to say his name, but he goes by. No, he goes by the term "dirty foot." But listen,
Oh,
he literally listen. I swear,
Why do all
because he
your
never wears
friends
shoes.
have fucking
He never
code
wears
names?
shoes. I don't get it. But anyway, this guy has nipples. I swear to God, they're 3 inches long. They're the weirdest fucking thing, dude. When you see him without a shirt on, when he's out boating and stuff, I'm like, dude,
It's
I'd
pretty
keep a
gross.
fucking shirt on with those things. So we always
Get
fuck with him.
Pierce
And go,
Lane.
hey man, we always go, hey man, is it cold? Because they're like a fucking small dick on his.
Oh,
fucking chest.
they're 3 inches off of his chest.
Yes, dude. The fucking nipple
Oh, I
protrudes
thought
like
you
a
meant
penis.
3 inches round. Oh my god!
No,
3
dude.
inches?
His areolas are normal, but then he's got like this long
What?
fucking yes, dude. They're like udders. I swear to
Thinking
God.
like a diamond.
Are
in
It's
they-
like you
glass.
can milk him
are
like
they-
Elsie
are
the
they-
cow.
Are they rigid or are they floppy?
I don't know. I don't fucking touch them, dude. I look at them, but they stand
do they-
straight
do they-
out. So I would assume they're
No,
stiff.
they're rigid. Then they're rigid. They stand straight out.
Yeah,
oh
they're
my
like
god!
pictures
they're-
of
Look,
them.
it's
We'll
like
put 'em on our
they're like
website.
sentry guns.
3 inches out. What does his shirts do?
Dude, you could literally tune into Tokyo with no problem with his titties.
No.
I'm telling you.
No. It's
Oh.
like that guy in Austin Powers that had the boob cannons. The
Yes,
chick,
dude, he's
where the
got boob
came
guns.
out.
Wasn't that Britney Spears that played that role? Didn't she the
Yes.
one that had the tits that like shot ammunition?
No, it was. I thought it was Heather Graham.
Or was it
It
Heather
was.
Graham or was it Britney Spears?
No, Heather Graham was in one of them, but no, it was Britney Spears. Yeah, one of the
With the
fembots.
cannons.
Oh,
Oh, the fembot was Britney
yeah.
Spears. Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
Speaking
But-
of that,
Oh,
I think Eric wanted to talk about movies, so that's a great segue into it. What do you
Go
want to
ahead,
talk
man.
about, Eric, with movies?
What movies did you
Oh,
have?
well, I was thinking about the time that we had a conversation on how everything that's coming out nothing's original anymore.
Shitty.
Basically, yeah. I
Right.
just watched Halloween Ends, okay, and I'm a fan of Michael Myers. I love the movies. I
Right.
don't care if it's old 80s, and 70s stuff, but I actually still enjoy them until this past one, and it's Halloween Ends, which is supposed to be the very end of the entire franchise.
Oh, I like that one.
Did you really?
Oh yeah, I
thought
did.
worst
I'm gonna
goddamn
say
movie
I
ever.
actually enjoyed it too. I didn't like the one before that.
The
Yeah,
The
Halloween
one
I
where
didn't like the
everybody
one
came back.
Yeah, I
you
didn't
talking
like
about
the
when
one
he kills
before.
the fireman at the beginning.
No, that's the last one.
That's Halloween
Mm.
Kills. Yeah,
Right. Halloween Kills is the one with the fire, Mike.
yeah.
That's
the one
the one
with the
that I
fire at
hated.
the end. The fire at the end.
No, at the beginning of the movie, there's a big
Yeah, at the
fire
beginning of the
at
movie.
house,
I thought
and
that,
Michael
I thought
Myers
that
starts
one.
annihilating all of them.
Halloween Ends starts the same way it like it ended on the other one, I believe, or something like that, doesn't it? Or no?
I'm confused. So the
Yeah.
one where he's down in the fire pit and it's got. Oh wait a minute. Yeah, the
That
one
is,
in the
that's
hos-
Halloween. That's the one
Halloween
before the one
ends
that
is
just
the one
came.
in the The one Halloween ends is the one in the hospital, right? Where they're in the hospital.
Well, Jamie Lee Curtis is in it again. She's
They
in
were
all.
all-
She's
she was in
normal.
all three. She was
But
on three of
her
them.
daughter plays a major role in this one or something like that.
Right.
So
No,
in
in
the
the-
end,
no, in the
not-
second one and the
spoiler
third
alert. I know her
And-
daughter died in Halloween Kills.
Yeah,
And now
yeah,
her
her daughter
granddaughter's
dies
still
in Halloween.
alive.
Her daughter dies in the
I'm
hospital.
confused.
Okay, everybody, this is spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen the movies, you want to see them, tune out.
Listen,
For
if they
about
haven't
10
seen
minutes.
Halloween by now, it's fucking February, dude. I mean, fucking
So-
get a
Yeah,
life.
I know.
So with Halloween Kills, that was the one with the granddaughter for
Correct.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
Okay, the Halloween Halloween Kills was the one not with the granddaughter. That was with her daughter in the hospital.
Her daughter is in Halloween Kills.
With Jamie Lee Curtis in the hospital because they're taking her to the hospital. She just got stabbed in the movie before it, because in the movie before they locked Michael Myers in the basement. They set the whole fucking house on fire. They're going to the ambulance. They're going to the hospital, and then the firefighter goes past them, and Jamie Lee Curtis is screaming, "Don't save him! Don't fucking save him!"
Yep.
And then he comes out, dun, 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 he kills all the firefighters with all their own shit, and they're all like, "Oh fuck, what the fuck?" You know?
How does it go?
Dun, 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 dun. You know, because this is the one town that they don't send the police with the firefighters. They just send the firefighters out.
I know,
you know?
right? It just totally didn't make any sense.
They even do that here in Lakeland. I mean, come on.
That movie was absolutely fucking terrible.
I didn't like that one, the middle one, the one in the hospital. Like that one was my least favorite.
Mm-hmm. Where all the
one
people
in the
came
last
back.
one I thought was kind of cool because they were putting a spin on it, kind of like you thought it was going to be a rebirth of Michael Myers with that new kid. You know what I'm talking about? Like you thought they were going to get rid of the old actor and bring the new actor in, and they kind of did the twist, and you're like, oh shit, this is fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, watching that, I got confused watching it. I was like, all right, so who's really Michael Myers here? Is it this kid who's a weirdo, or is it Michael
I think the
Myers?
way that they spun it, which I kind of dug a little bit, was it kind of like what they did with Jason Voorhees in the last. Not the one where he goes to fucking space, but the ones before that.
Friday the 13th.
The Friday the 13th series, Jason Voorhees, where it got a little weird on that because it was like a worm, demonic, but he was actually a demonic spirit that could possess bodies and live on. That's what gave him his supernatural strength, which I think they were doing the same thing with Michael Myers, because that's a great way to explain how he can get fucking shot a zillion times and fucking stabbed a zillion fucking times and keep walking without bleeding out. Because I don't care if you don't have any pain receptors. Like, you know, people that don't have pain receptors, if they're getting stabbed, they're getting hurt.
Could you imagine?
That makes sense. Yeah, imagine totally.
That'd be horrible.
Totally imagine. Yeah.
Horrible.
So they don't have any pain receptors. They're getting stabbed. They get hurt, and they bleed out. They can bleed out. That's the problem with people who don't have pain receptors. They can't feel pain. They get hurt and they don't know it, and then they can die. With Michael Myers, you know, he gets stabbed and fucking cut and shot, and he just keeps going. So I do like the idea of it being some type of demonic entity that makes that difference. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I think they kind of just ruined the whole
I thought it was kind of cool. I thought that one was okay.
That was the one that I really disliked. Like, unfortunately, I liked parts of it. I thought parts of it were right. I was like, from the very beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, this is going to be really good. And then it just kind of teetered off a little bit. One thing I'm a fan of is the Rob Zombie remake of the first Michael Myers.
That's what I was just about. You took the words right out of my mouth. I still feel like his remake was the best Halloween one, period. The Rob Zombie one was just amazing. I thought it was great. It brought back the clown outfit. It really hit on all the key, even though it was a remake, and it's a little easier to do a remake. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I just thought it was really well done. It just updated it. That was the thing that Rob Zombie did. He updated it to the time to it was more current. You know, like it wasn't like if you go back and watch 80s movies, they're not scary in the 80s anymore. No, I watched. Speaking of which, I'd watched Nightmare on Elm Street, and you're absolutely right. And I was like, "This is the original," and I went, "I can't believe I actually thought this was scary." Mm-hmm. I'm your new boyfriend now, Nancy. You know what I mean? I was just like, I started laughing. I mean, I literally laughed. It didn't scare me. You know what I mean?
No, and then that one was kind of cheesy. And I didn't mind the Friday the 13th remake either. I thought that was pretty cool. Like, the remake on that. But it is a lot easier to do a remake because you're just basically taking the exact same story
and maybe putting a little bit of a twist to it.
Speaking of horror flicks, how's your mom, Eric?
Oh, she's great, man. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, she's doing good. She's doing good.
She just texted me and said, "Hey, how's Brad doing this morning?" I said, "He's great."
I said,
he's acting like a little skirt.
Yeah, tell her I said thanks. Tell her I said thanks. She'll know. Wink, wink. So, Eric, I was going to say to you, what else you got for me today, man? Come on.
Well, I mean, we only went over the one movie Halloween, so that wasn't that great.
We really did.
I mean,
You guys got more? Okay. I didn't realize you had more movies.
I think the problem is that the studios, they need, because everything's gotten so expensive, they have to have big wins, so they only want to produce things they know are going to be money makers, which is usually either sequels, or books, or like video games that have a huge following. But I think the problem with books and video games is if you don't cast the right people to play the part, you can alienate the fan base real easily.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
I know that I was the Wheel of Time on Amazon Prime. I don't know if you guys watched that. It was based off of a book series, and I read the book. I got kind of lost in it because it's a long book series. Like, it's just a lot of pages, a lot of characters. I kind of just got tired of it and just I put it down for a little bit. But I know that one of the characters, like, they cast like an Indian girl, and she looks different, a lot different than the way the book described it, and it caused a major upset with the people that were like avid fans of the book, because they want to see their character come to life as the character portrayed, not somebody diversified just because they need because they want to have diversity and inclusion. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the kind of stuff that I think gets production houses in trouble, because all of your fan base, not just the white fan base, like I'm talking about all the fan base, gets upset when you change a character too much from what its core is, because you've read this thing for years and now it's coming to the big screen and all of a sudden it's not what you imagined.
It's kind of like when they want to cast a black Superman.
Yes.
It just that's not how it originated. And I get it.
See, that's where I think that's where I think it's being lazy. Like, I think the best route is create their own character.
Absolutely.
Change it up. Just create their own character. Like, like The Rock with Black Adam. Like, that's a great fit, because, and then like what they could do with like the Green Lantern, they just get rid of one Green Lantern and they can bring in another person that's a different person that can play that character. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But they'd have to have a good story.
I can't watch Green Lantern with Ryan Reynolds. I can only watch Deadpool with him. I don't know. It's just because I'm thinking of Deadpool the whole time.
Oh, see, I didn't mind Green Lantern. I know it got panned, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was a fun summer flick. I mean, I think that's a problem too. I think everybody's a fucking film critic, and they can't go and enjoy a summer flick. Like, they had to be like, oh, I need a deeper meaning. Oh, I need this. I need that. No,
my thing was, I thought it was good. I thought it was good, but what I'm saying is, I can't go back and watch it again, because when it's like he nailed Deadpool so well that when I go back and watch Green Lantern, it's like Deadpool in a green outfit to me. Because he's still a smartass in Green Lantern. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, Green Lantern was way before Deadpool.
Correct. So my thing is, it's like, I would like to see, like, I still wanted to know, like, what happened to, what is it? Not Destro, but what's his name? Sinstro, whatever his name was, the guy that turned evil, the Green Lantern, head of the Green Lanterns that turned evil at the end. But we never got a sequel. It would have been cool to see him as a villain.
Because it got panned. It just got panned by the critics, and it got panned by people because they wanted so much more.
Lame.
Now, one comic book movie that I think completely ruined was Ghost Rider with Nick Cage.
Yes.
The CGI at the time obviously was not up to par like it is nowadays. That's okay. I can look past that. But just the way they portrayed him in that movie, and like I thought it would have. It was Dan Ketch that became Ghost Rider, and he's some other guy that becomes Ghost Rider. Yeah. So that made no sense to me in the original. So
they did a terrible casting on that. I don't think Nicolas Cage was the right character. I think they just got him because he was a big name, because he had just come off of Con Air and he'd just come off the Face Off, a
bad movie with amazing actors in it. Con Air.
Oh, I think Con Air is a great fucking movie. I love that movie.
I love it. It's very entertaining, but I mean, it's just a shit bum movie when you really think about it. It's like,
it's a shit concept, but that's what's great about the movies. I mean,
he's got the whole world.
Yeah. I mean, it's no different than any of the great movies from the 80s. I mean, fucking look at Die Hard, like a guy just fucking trapped in a skyscraper building fighting against German terrorists. I think they were German. I don't know what country they were from, but The guy's name was Hans, so I'm thinking they were
Hans
German.
Gruber.
You know, does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like he's literally like he's crawling through the skyscraper, taking out
What-
terrorists.
What's your name, boy?
Yeah, you know, like all the movies like that were freaking great. I mean,
I don't know. You gotta have
And
a little bit of fantasy in there with the movies. I mean, they're not all going to be like realistic. You know what I mean?
And that's fine. I get it.
I think that the problem is just that movies have gotten such big productions that they want to bank on a sure bet, so they go for the low hanging fruit. You know, they go for the sequels, they go for the remakes because they know there's a fan base there that's already going to come out. Where, like, you know, I really like Attila Battle Angel. I don't know if you guys watched that one.
Mm-mm.
Never heard of it.
It's a great show. It was a great movie. It was a great sci-fi movie, you know, and it was a great storyline. It had a fan following. It was from a comic series or a anime series. I'm not sure exactly. I don't know the whole backstory, but it didn't get a sequel because it didn't quite do well enough in the box office to warrant a sequel being produced. Which for me, that's the most frustrating thing is when you do a good enough first movie that's entertaining, but then you can't do a follow-up. And I think it's even worse than that is Netflix with their series. Like there's been so many series like Warrior Nun. Okay. It was serving this fucking this series up to me for like 6 months straight. Okay. Like as a recommended watch. So finally I caved. I was like, yeah, fucking, I'm finally watching. I get hooked into it just to find out that they canceled it with no ending. Like they didn't even order like a last 2 episodes or something, you know, just to finish the story arc. So it ends on a cliffhanger. And I'm like, you motherfuckers, why are you recommending shit that you canceled? Like,
That's
if
like
you cancel
Kingdom.
it.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. They canceled that one too.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was really
amazing.
good. Mm-hmm.
And they picked that one up from like a crap ass station that it was originally filmed in. And all they had to do was just write 2 more seasons and then end it. And it would have been fantastic. But they left us hanging after the 3rd season, which wasn't as good as the first 2, in my opinion. But the ending I thought the ending of the 3rd season was good, but it left us so much more on the table, you know, for your imagination.
I don't know, man. I feel. Oh, go ahead.
No, what I was just going to say is I think that movies and music have lost a lot of their creative license because there's such a demand for performance. If that makes sense, like, you know,
it makes
revenue generation, not performance, but revenue generation. So I think they don't do anything cutting edge because
in the studio mentality, like you just said, just to kind of back up and recap what you were saying about the shows cutting off early, you know what I mean, and them not having an ending. To me, it's like a big fat go fuck yourself middle finger from the studio to the fan base. And I think until we all say fuck you, man, I'm enough of this shit, you know, cancel subscriptions, you know, but write in positive feedback, not just negativity, like, oh, you guys are assholes, but you know what I mean, just like saying, hey, you know, we're tired of you guys not, you know, closing out seasons, you know, or, you know, leaving an open series, you know, because you run out of budget, you know what I mean, whatever it might be. It's just frustrating.
I think the problem is that they come out with something that's as good or better right away, so you just switch over. You know, like I'm not pissed off on, like I'm more pissed off about them releasing things in episodes now and making you wait a week at a time as opposed to just releasing it all at one time than I am about them canceling shows. Because I mean, I that's the most frustrating thing is when I watch something and then I have to wait like 3 weeks to pick up on it. Like I'm watching a show, La Brea. This is on I think it's a Peacock Network or Paramount, one of the two. I don't know exactly. And I really like the show, but they've been on hiatus for the last 8 months. Like mid-season cliffhanger hiatus for feels like 8 fucking months. It's probably only been like 3, but I'm like, that's fucking stupid. Like we shouldn't be doing that this day and age. Does that make sense?
No,
like there's no,
release
I don't know
them
what
all
the
at
benefit
once.
is.
I mean,
release them
all use the same way, Mike.
I would rather, if they were worried about people signing on and signing off, like canceling their subscriptions after an episode comes out, just make me fucking sign a year contract or make the person that wants it month to month pay a lot more. Because I'll sign a year. Like I mean, I'm a lifer. You know, I mean, I'll do it. I'll fucking, I don't have a problem.
But it's like the show you. It's like the show you. I mean, they released the first 6 episodes, and now we got to wait till the end of March to watch the other 6. And I'm like, what the? Why? What's the fucking reasoning? You know what I mean? I don't understand what the reasoning is. Just to piss you off. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then I feel like on the music industry, I feel like the era of the big bands are done, like the rock bands. I don't think that you're gonna have the drummers, the guitarists, the bass guitarists anymore, or very little, because I feel like it's a lot easier to manage one person as being the front man and put all your money in that person than it is to have to worry about 5 people showing up and performing. You know, you can get pretty much anybody to like lay down a drum track, you know, anybody to lay down a guitar track. And some of the stuff is so technologically advanced now that I don't even think you need instruments per se. You know, you can do it all in a studio and just have the person on stage doing the singing and the pyrotechnics and the dancing and the moving backgrounds and stuff. And people are just as entertained as they were back in the day going to the rock concerts. You know what I mean?
My favorite band of all time is Guns N' Roses. And I'm so happy that they're still touring. They're back together and touring and everything. But that's not going to happen again, in my opinion, with what we have nowadays. You're not going to get a Stone Temple Pilots. You're not going to get an Aerosmith, a Metallica. I'll even go to the Foo Fighters and Godsmack. All great bands. Yeah. But that's like the end of the everything.
Roll said it best. The era of the garage band and the getting together, just playing instruments and having fun and creating something special is over. I mean, you got Jimmy Smalls over here that takes a toothbrush, makes a noise, puts it in a synthesizer, like Mike was just saying, and then he takes a fart, turns that into a long rhythm. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, this guy's got a hit fucking song and he's 8 years old. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just changed. I mean, it's just music has evolved. I mean, it was no different in the 90s when Napster was around and then the record companies were realizing, hey, we're done. That should have been a clear-cut sign to them that they were done. They should have been prepared when the internet was released and said, hey, we got to get this digital thing under wraps now. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they waited too long and it just killed them. So now like record companies, they're just not needed anymore except for distribution. And even then you don't need them.
Instead of selling a million albums, instead of selling a million albums and going platinum, now it's like, oh, if you have 1 million downloads, then you get some kind of award. It's bullshit in my opinion.
Well, I mean, I hate it. Like, I would never ever go back to fucking CDs or tape.
I would never go back to DVDs and CDs. I would never.
I always hated the fact that I would have to buy an entire fucking album for 2 good songs. It'd be like 19 shitty songs and maybe 2 good songs on an album that I paid like $30 fucking dollars for.
Let me jump on that too, Mike, because you're absolutely right. So when you pay like an Apple service or some other service, $35 a month, and you get unlimited artists, and then they just pay the artists what they well deserve
based on how often their songs listened to.
Yeah, how often they're downloaded, whatever it is. So yeah, man, I'm all for that. You know what I mean? So.
And so I feel like the quality of music has to be better because you can't put out a bunch of shit songs just to fill an album.
Right.
That's true.
You got to put out good hits in order to make it happen. And I feel like a lot of the music's pretty good. I mean, yes, I think the rock genre, I don't know of any modern rock bands that I can think of off the top of my head that I know play. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if I'm the right demographic for that because I don't listen to like new rock. Does that make sense?
One band that stood the test of time that always kills it and they only tour during the summer? Dave Matthews Band. And a lot of people will disagree and say that's not rock. To me, I think that's rock. It might be softer rock, but they kill it every time.
Are you talking about modern music or are you talking about older music, Mike?
Modern. I was talking about modern.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm talking about bands. I'm talking about like bands like 2015 and newer or 2010 and newer.
I can't think of any. I really can't.
Because Dave Matthews is still from the 90s. Like I listened to them in the 90s, so they've been around for 40 fucking years.
Because I was about to say another heavy metal band that does it is Iron Maiden. They constantly are on tour. They have their own jet. They fly everywhere. They do their own thing. They put on their best performances. They're fucking kick ass, dude.
And I think that's still great. But I think like a lot of those bands, like it's the lead singer that makes them. Yeah, you have the guitarists that are unique and special, but man, it's crazy. I feel like you have a lot more talented people now than you did back then because I think the technology is so much better and you have so much earlier access. Like before, if you wanted to buy a good guitar, you'd have to drop like $2,000, but that would be like equivalent to $20,000 back then. Does that make sense? Like in the 70s, if you wanted to get a fucking really nice guitar, it was really fucking expensive and hard to get. Now you can go buy a guitar for $150 that probably sounds as good as that 1970s guitar that was 20 grand in today's money. You know, I mean, as far as music quality, I'm not saying that like a 20 grand guitar today is equivalent to a $150 guitar today, but I'm just saying that because of the improvement in technology and manufacturing process, that one of those $150 guitars probably sounds as good as, you know, some of the really good stuff back in the 1970s. I mean, you guys have any input on that, on the music or on the equipment?
Well, the equipment, definitely. Go ahead, Brad.
I was just going to say, you know, with the digital age, it makes it a lot easier. Like you said, Mike, equipment's cheaper, you know, and even then you don't need a lot of equipment. You can plug right into a laptop even. You know, you can put sound effects in through using, you know, whether it's Adobe Audition, whatever it might be. You can edit anything you want. It wasn't like you had to play the music, put it on a recorder, that kind of jazz. So, you know, like you said, you'd pay 20 grand for a setup, you know, get a Marshall stack and do all this shit. I mean, it would cost you, get a huge PA system and all this crap.
You used to have
to do that.
And you used to have to spend, you know, $20,000-$30,000 to go run a studio for a couple sessions, you know, to be able to sit in there and record your stuff, to do a demo tape. Then you'd have to go around to all the local DJs to try to get them to play it, you know, and the promoters. Now you literally can sit in front of your computer, upload that shit to YouTube or Instagram, you know, and if it takes off, like if a couple people go, oh shit, you got to listen to this song. Next thing you know, you got 1 million plus people listening to your music, and you got a chance of, you know, making it like so much quicker. So you can discover talent, I think, exponentially faster today in this day and age than you can. I mean, I've seen like, there's like a guy, like a kid, like a young kid group. Like these are all 10-year-olds and 8-year-olds that are like playing like Guns N' Roses and like Sweet Child of Mine. And they sound fucking amazing. Mm-hmm. And the guitarist is like on fucking point, and the drummer is on point. Like they have the song dialed in as far as like, you know, copying it. Like it's like you put them side by side and you're like, you couldn't tell which one's which, you know what I mean? Just because they're obviously they're copying it, they're not writing it, but that's the next step, is just to write it. But the talent's there. So you could take that 8-year-old drummer, put him in the back, and have, you know, the lead singer Guns N' Roses singing it with the guys in the back. And if they're playing the same as good as the original drummer for that song, the audience won't know. They won't care, you know?
True.
Like I think today's age, like Tommy, you know, like Tommy Lee, I think he'd have a lot harder time just being a drummer, a well-known drummer, you know, because like we don't know who Britney Spears' drummer is or bass guitarist.
No, you're absolutely right. And here's the
but
thing.
She has them in her songs.
And here's the thing. I mean, people love, and I'll go, you know, I know we're getting close to winding down the show, but here's my thing.
Yep.
And I'll add to this. So if you look at Motley Crue as a shining example, they have John 5 now that's playing guitar for Mick Mars. And he actually sounds really fucking good. You can't tell the difference, man, between the two. The sound's the same. Everything's the same. And the fans are still coming out and spending the money because of the music and the songs. You know what I mean?
100%.
So like just to go with what Mike was saying, I think if you're a young musician coming up today, it's a lot harder. It's easier to get distribution because of the many digital outlets you have. But like he said, to be a household name, it's going to be like kind of like trying out for baseball and trying to make the pros. It's a lot harder, I believe, now to make it because there's so many people doing it. There's so many people doing it, though, Mike. There's twice as many people, 300, 400 times the many people making music than what it used to be in the 80s. You know what I mean? You had to tour around in clubs.
I guess it depends. I guess it depends on what you mean by make it.
Well, okay, so what I mean by make it is,
I'm talking like international stardom, or
yeah, I'm talking about national level, international. You're touring, doing arenas, things of that nature. I think it's a lot harder, and I could be way off here, but I really truly believe it's a lot harder. Being that, you know, I grew up in an era where, you know, you had to tour clubs, you had to go and get recognized. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the thing is, it's a lot harder to get to the top, but it's a lot easier to make a living.
Oh, that is true.
And the reason is, you know, if you get 1 million followers on YouTube, subscribers, now you're banking. You're banking.
Yeah, you're banking money now,
and you're able to live off that lifestyle. Now, are you flying around in jets and like touring the world? No, but you're still making a living. You're not. I feel before it was like you're a starving artist, a starving musician, unless you make it big. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you might even if you have like gigs that
Living
you're
in your mom's
playing
basement.
live,
Yeah.
even if you have gigs that you're playing live, unless you're doing them on a regular basis, you're not making a shit ton of money. Like you're making just enough to support your like your life and your hobbies and that kind of stuff, but you're not like raking in the dough. But like if you all of a sudden you get on YouTube and people start following you or Instagram and shit like that, and you get a big enough following, all of a sudden, boom, you're making money. You're making, 10, 20, 30 grand a month off your YouTube channel and your Instagram account playing music. And I think that's what's really cool about it. I think that's, one of the great things about the internet is it's like really made it the playing field a lot more level. Because before it was like who you knew, not who you were.
I can't disagree with you. I think you're absolutely
that's why you
correct.
have so many child prodigies in television because their
Nail in the
parents knew
coffin
who to
right
talk
there.
to.
Yep.
Yeah, the parents knew who to talk to, and they knew how to get their kids into the production. They knew what their kids needed to do because they were there. So it was like you have like third, fourth generation actors because they knew how to get into it. Now you have a lot more independent studios making stuff and things like that.
So kids, get in there, make the music, keep doing it. There's hope for you still. There's plenty of distribution.
Actually, no, give up and go back to bagging groceries and working at McDonald's.
Live with your mom and dad. Live off them. It's a lot easier.
Those businesses need help too.
Go back, bug your parents, live with them, rent free. Life is great when you're living off your parents' tit. Anyway, guys, don't forget. Speaking of radio and things like that, don't forget you can now stream us online at mytuner-radio.com. Just go scroll through till you get to the station The Mix Talk Live. We are there at 7 a.m. Monday, or actually 7 days a week, I believe. So check us out, 7 a.m. Also, you can visit us on the Tiki Talk and on the Tweet Machine at _TheDailyBM or on Facebook and Instagram at TheDailyBM. As usual, go to our website, thedailybm.com, and send us emails at info@. Guys, you have anything before we get out of here?
I'm good.
I'm good, too.
Eric, you good? All right, Eric.
Fantastic.
Stick around. I got something to say to you, motherfucker. Anyway, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Shit.
We'll catch you on the flip side.
Have a good one.
Deuces.